What's up, everyone? Fuck, I already fucked it up. I already wanted to start off with a different beginning. Whatever. This is Punk with the Controller.
Do
You can
it.
catch us live Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at twitch.tv slash
Do it
punk with the
live.
controller. I'm Paul Sabo. I'm your host. This is Jay Hamilton. He's my co-host, aka twitch.tv slash LordXHam. Go subscribe to his channel. Show him some love. Mondays and Wednesdays, I'm goofing off, just playing whatever games appeal to me. So go over and check those out. Monday, I played Oddworld Soulstorm. That was my first time diving into an Oddworld game. That was super cool. Wednesday, I played Days Gone with the upgraded PS5 4K 60 FPS patch. I actually had a lot more fun than I thought I was going to have, just going off of my first initial experience with the game. And I am joined, like I said, by Jay Hamilton, aka twitch.tv slash LordXHam on Fridays, where we are covering the game news, going over what we've been playing, watching throughout the week. It's been a real fun time. If you've missed any of the 3 episodes that we recorded already, they are live at youtube.com/punkwiththecontroller. So please go and like and subscribe to those videos in that channel. Leave a comment in any of the videos. Let us know what you want to see done. What you want to see changed. Obviously, I need to get better at fucking changing scenes and learning this goddamn stream deck. But Jay, my good buddy, how are you?
What up? I'm doing great. It's Friday, and yeah, I've been looking forward to the weekend for sure. It's been a long week. Long week it has been, and a slow week in the news a little bit, you know.
Well, yeah,
But, yeah.
that's one of the things that I wanted to start off the top of the show with announcing is with us being new to the whole podcasting idea, where I'm trying to find some structure to the show itself. So instead of doing this opening bit that we do where we catch up with each other, which I am going to keep because I do like catching up with what we're playing and what we're watching and how our week has been. It's just good as friends, I feel, to do that. Instead of just jumping right into the big stories throughout the week, I figured I would create this little updates tab where we could just cover any quick updates from past stories that may have changed that we talked about in prior episodes. If there's any game announcements, game delays, release dates, show announcements, show delays, anything like that, that's where we're going to be covering here. Just quick, we could run through all of that pretty quickly. And then after that, I have a little idea of like a check this out kind of thing. We usually like to watch trailers if there's any that pop, anything that piques our interest. So we got this little check this out tab after the updates one where we're going to go through any trailers of any games that might have come out that piqued our interest. We're going to try and keep that to a minimum, though, just because of copyright strikes. I'm not trying to push that bar. And then we'll get into...
I think the one this week's good.
Yeah, no, for sure. But when I put that in, I was thinking, oh, there was a new trailer for Returnal, so maybe I would, put that one in here. But then I was like, that's Sony, second party AAA game. Let's keep that one, maybe not. And then we'll get into the big news stories, the stories that broke during the week, and then we can, really get into the weeds with those. And then after the stories, I thought it'd be fun if we had a topic of the week, something that would get you more knowing of who we are with our history of games. And this first topic of the week is our top 5 games of all time. We each chose 10 games total, 5 games that we would say are our top 5 favorite video games of all time, and then 5 honorable mentions, just games that we would have liked to included, but we felt that there were other games that we appreciated more. So on that note, let's just start off with the weekly catch-up. Jay, how was your week? You said it was super busy. I know you said you were working many an hour a day. What were you playing and watching outside of that?
All right. Well, I was playing a little game called Project Zomboid. Project Zomboid Build 41 to be exact.
Is that the title? Is that like the
right.
title with the patch?
All right. Listen here, Buckaroo. No, it's been out for a long time. I think like 10, like someone said like 10 years, like a long time. Like this game's been out, and if you just download it off Steam, you just play like the original version. But they've had this beta build that's been out since October 2019, called build 41 plus, and you have to go into like Steam and go into the betas, and then you just like kind of switch the version. But apparently, it completely changes the look and like of the game. And a couple streamers, I think it was like Clean, Sequisha. I mean, those are the only two I watch, so they're the boys. Shout out to them. But what was I gonna say? Yeah, they were streaming it and like a couple other streamers, and it just kind of blew up, and on Twitch. And so I decided to check it out, and it is the most intense zombie game I've ever played, ever.
Like how does it? What kind of like is it third person first? What is it?
It's like Diablo 2,
Okay.
like that view,
Okay. Top
and
down.
top down, but like doesn't change. It's not, but it's like 3D. It's got fog of war kind of deal, but it's like not fog of war. It's like you have a cone of vision, right? And you can only see zombies or like what's in your cone of vision. Like
Oh, I don't like that.
no. Like,
Well, no, I mean like as like a fear, like as a fear wise, like
oh yeah,
as a
yeah.
mechanic, that's dope. But like as like
Okay,
a
well,
fear
like,
thing,
a
like yeah, no,
zombie
I don't
can't
like
come-
that.
A zombie can come up behind you.
Yeah, for sure.
But you can like hear it, but you can't. And like even if
yeah,
you like
okay.
go up to a window of a house, it'll just be like a cone in the in the house, kind of deal. But like the mechanics are super in depth, the looting's super in depth, and it like doesn't sugarcoat it. It basically tells you at the beginning, there are no heroes in this game. This is a story about your death. And that's what it feels like. I feel like I'm trying to survive. I'm the last person, and I'm just getting that much closer to how I die. And I keep playing, wondering, how's it gonna end? Am I gonna roll a car? Am I gonna get bit? I played through it one time. I lasted my first playthrough 9 days. That's wicked. That's a week. And over time, like you could go into houses, get water and whatnot, get food. But like after a certain amount of time, like a month goes by, they shut down the water supply. And then like time goes by, they shut down the electricity. And then they like, oh my god, it's like wicked.
How long's it been out? You say?
Let me check.
You said a while. But then also then you've that was all you really played this week. It says you watched a bunch of other shit. Yeah, I know you had a busy week, so I had a busy week too, so yeah, I didn't really play.
2013.
Okay.
Sorry. But yeah. And then other than that, I watched some TV. I watched WrestleMania. That was had its ups and downs.
I was about to say, was there
nights.
anything of note?
Edge won the Royal Rumble, then he went to WrestleMania and lost.
Of course he did.
Buried. I was pulling for Daniel Bryan, dude, with the yes movement. But nope. Roman Reigns. But yeah, no, just like a lot of weird stuff. My favorite was just a segment with this Matt Riddle dude, which is like this stoner ex-UFC fighter guy. And RVD got inducted into the Hall of Fame, and he like comes out with him and Great Khali. He's like
Wait,
there
what?
on live. Yeah.
Wait, I thought the Great Khali died.
No.
What?
No, he was inducted into the Hall of Fame this year. He was at WrestleMania, like, look at my ring.
I swore he died. What? That's insane.
No.
That must have been a fake article or something.
Fake. That was fake as hell. No, he's kicking. And ginormous still. But yeah, no, RVD comes out, he's like, what you both need is some RVD rolling papers. Right there. Vinnie Mac, let it slide.
He's old. He doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, but it was what you'd expect. The women's superstars outperformed the men as usual. That's how it is now.
That's about to say that's become the standard. It seems.
And it's awesome. Like they kick ass, dude. Rhea Ripley.
Who's the one girl? Naomi, I think her name is. The one black woman. She is dope.
She is dope.
Um,
They were in like the this weird tag match where like they would get
oh, she was there.
eliminated. Yeah,
Oh, okay, cool.
Naomi. I think, if I'm not mistaken. But Sasha Banks, Snoop Dogg's cousin, who was the champion, like they main evented the first night. Her and Bianca Belair. She's got this long ponytail, and she came off the rope and slapped Sasha Banks across the stomach as hard as she could. And it was so loud, dude. I was like, oh, oh, oh. I was like drunk and half asleep in my chair like this. I'm like, oh, oh, sold it. Holy crap. But yeah, and then I got HBO Max, so I've been watching Billy and Mandy like a little kid, and The Last
Nice.
Kingdom.
Oh yeah, you're still in the last. You got to be nearing the end of that. Or
I just watched the first episode of the fourth season. I took a break,
okay.
and then I came back, and oh my god, that show is good. It's very good.
That's cool. Yeah, that's the one of those Netflix shows I've been meaning to check out.
And it's all I'm gonna say is that it's good, and you'll watch a lot of it, but like you gotta pace yourself because it's like hour episodes. And, like,
Yeah, we were
30-minute
talking about that.
bangers.
But I've Sunday, Sunday is when I just cut the video and upload it and do laundry and just, random shit around the house, catch up on some TV. And I went to Amazon to catch up on Invincible, which I eventually did. I did watch Invincible. Invincible's great. Everyone should watch it if you have Amazon Prime, please. It's such a fucking great show. I saw there's a new Amazon show called Them. And I read the synopsis. I was like, "Oh, that's interesting." And then I watched a trailer, and I was like, "Oh, that seems cool." And I was just getting some Get Out vibes, like it's like just a run of the mill synopsis. What it appeared to run of the mill synopsis is a family of four, a black family of four in the 50s moved from North Carolina to a all white suburban Compton. And there's like a big psychological horror aspect to it. So, all of that piqued my interest. Do not watch this show. Oh my God. It is the most, and like, don't get me wrong. I get it. I knew going into the show, it was going to be racist and like offensive and like, but you don't know what you're getting into if you start this show. It is the most of like racist thing I have ever seen. It was fucking mind blowing. It was mind blowing. Every frame of this show either contained racist imagery or there was there was like a racist ass narrator or someone spouting some racist ass dialogue. It was a fucking hard show to watch. And I'm telling you, I'm saying don't watch it because episode 5 is going to break you. Dude, it was so fucking bad. Like, it was so hard to watch. And I
Can't
didn't
watch shit like that.
Dude, I didn't even watch it. Like, I'll describe it to you off stream in the Discord chat or in the Discord if you want to. But yeah, I was about to say,
makes me sick to my stomach.
dude, like, this was like, it was almost beyond racism. It was just fucking terrible to watch. And again, I didn't even watch it. Like, we probably watched the first 3 minutes of the setup. And then once it got going, I was like, okay, this is a bit much. And I started, tapping the joystick to where it jumps like 10 seconds. And dude, just watching frames of it and like hearing the noise every few seconds, it went on for like 15 or 20 minutes. Like the entire episode was like this one sequence. And God, like just don't watch that. Like, again, if you were like me and you saw that on Amazon Prime and you thought it was going to be like, this really well written, take on psychological horror with race at the forefront, like Get Out, it is not that. Like, after episode 5, I felt fucking numb to the show and as if I like had an obligation to finish it. And I wish I didn't because the payoff wasn't even good. Like I was hoping there was going to be some dope fucking great payoff like Get Out, and there wasn't. There could have been, but homie backed down, and it was the most frustrating show. I should describe it as. So do not watch them. Still watching Invincible and Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Falcon and the Winter Soldier is getting dark. Like I was saying when I first started watching it, they're tackling subjects I didn't think Marvel and Disney were gonna tackle, but they're fucking going there, and they're going. It's violent. Not this last episode, today's episode, but last week's episode ended fucking violently, and I am for that in the Marvel universe. We are too punchy kicky. I want some bloodshed. I finished WandaVision. When we started the show, I was talking about how it was really hard for me to get into that, and I finally just sat down painting a miniature, and I caught up on the show, got to where it got good, and it did get really fucking good. That latter half of the season, like the last 5 episodes are like 5 through 9 are really fucking good, or even 4 through 9. What else do I got here? And then like I said, I played Oddworld, Soulstorm Monday on stream. That was probably my first. That was my first time playing an Oddworld game. They're like
First time?
Yeah.
You ever played the original?
No, New and Tasty was the one prior to this, I think. But they had a big lineage with Xbox, the original Xbox. And yeah, I didn't never piqued my interest. I mean, honestly, Oddworld never really piqued my interest.
It used to give me nightmares.
Oh, they're horrifying games, dude.
Like when the PS1 game came out. Oh my god, my dad used to play that. Oh, dude.
I think Monday's stream should be still live in the archive. Go check it out. That game is fucked up. It
is. They're all fucked up.
The dialogue. It's really sad and depressing, and like the dialogue is like fucking Abe. He was like cradling this dude who was bringing him a message, and the dude was bleeding out and dying, and he's like, "I wish I could save you. Don't die, please." It's like the fucking saddest thing ever, and it looks insane. It like visually, Oddworld Soulstorm it's like a Pixar movie. It looks well, it's like DreamWorks. I won't say it's Pixar. It's like DreamWorks.
It's not that good.
Ratchet is Pixar. This is DreamWorks. But no, it looks really good. The gameplay is fun and interesting. Again, this is me coming into it as a Oddworld novice. I've seen people giving it kind of more mixed reviews. Like I think IGN gave it like a 7. GameSpot gave it like a 6. I mean, it was a reviewer's opinion. They have the right to their opinion. They're writers and they write reviews. So yeah, it's been getting pretty mixed, but I've listened to a couple podcasts of people who are, of note Oddworld fans, and I know Chris Raygun. He said he really likes it. He said he wasn't too much of a fan of the beginning and how actiony it is, but he said, in the long run, they introduced mechanics that are pretty cool. So I might end up getting back into that. But Days Gone is another one. Just with all of the news that broke last week about Days Gone, I kind of got an itch to just hop back in it and see what it's like on the PS5 since it got a 4K 60 FPS update. Good? So. You pre-ordered it, right?
No.
Okay, no. So my thing is wait for the reviews for the game officially, just because they've done a lot of patchwork, so the game runs and looks fucking beautiful. But sorry, I had a burp. When Horizon launched on the PC, that was broken for a long time. And when that launched on the PlayStation 4, it was completely fine. No issues. When Days Gone launched on the PS4, it was completely broken, but it's totally fine right now. I can't say how it's going to launch on the PC. So maybe give that a chance to breathe, wait and see how people review it, check the Steam reviews and shit. But also the game, just of note, the game has really bad pacing issues in the sense of the horde mode, like the horde situation. Yeah, you can come across a horde, early on in the game, but you aren't equipped and you aren't taking on hordes until 20-ish, 25 hours into the game. And that's
Really?
for the main mechanic of the game, the big selling point of it, for that to come so late. That is the big gripe with the game, is the pacing issues. And then also the way the cutscenes are cut, for me personally, I never really saw anyone talk about this. The cutscenes are cut in such an astonishing way. It blows my mind. Like you'll walk into a like a Firewatch tower. Like you're like, at the beginning of the game, you're bunkered up with your buddy Boozer at the top of a Firewatch tower. And as you walk through the entrance of the Firewatch tower, it fades to black and then a cutscene. And then the cutscene ends, and then you're standing in the Firewatch tower. You could, grab your gear, sleep, do whatever you want. And then once you walk out through that doorway, it fades to black again, and then it's a cutscene of your main character, Deacon, just leaning up against, like, it's literally a 5-second cutscene where he just walks over to the guardrail and just leans up against it and sighs, and then it fades to black again, and then you're, like, in gameplay outside. It's like, why couldn't have that all just been one consecutive scene? Why did you have to cut it up 4 times?
Right.
And there's a lot of scenes like that. So the game has, in my opinion, really bad pacing issues, but it's also why I'm really upset that there's no sequel coming out, because I feel like they could have really improved upon all the issues, because they were very active with their community. They listened to everyone. They were very active on Twitter and all their social media pages. So I really wish they got a second chance. But oh yeah, just a little LOL on the end. I watched Predators last night, 2010. Oh, it was dumb as fuck, dude. But I mean, I wasn't going into it thinking it was gonna be like Alien or something. It's Predator. It's easily the weakest of the two. But no, it was just a dumb action movie. I didn't really give a shit. But is that all we got to say about our week, about us, about our catch up?
Yeah.
All right. So then on to the updates. Like I said, we're doing updates now. So instead of just doing a massive list of big news stories, we're going to do a little list of updates. Yeah. Oh shit, ketchup or mustard? Ruski, I was in the middle of something here and you just completely threw me the fuck off.
Welcome.
Motherfucker.
Welcome,
Ketchup. If those are my only 2 options, ketchup. Like, no, not what is going on, just the only condiment, last condiment, final condiment, ketchup.
But
Anyways.
on a hot dog.
So we're making a new tab where we're going through updates instead of adding these to the big stories. I'm not even going to read these whole articles. If you want to go read them, you could go and check them out at your own leisure. But I'll just, break them down and we could give our opinions on them quickly as we run through them. This is by Adam Bankhurst over at IGN. The PS5 breaks another huge US sales record. In its first 5 months on the market, the PlayStation 5 has become the fastest selling console in US history in both unit and dollars sales. As revealed by the MPD Group's Matt Piscatella, this news arrives 1 month after the PS5 became the fastest-selling console in U.S. history in dollar sales. Despite the new record, the Nintendo Switch has continued its reign as the best-selling hardware platform in both units and dollars during March of 2021. However, the PS5 did rank first in hardware dollar sales in Q1 2021. So this is, like he said, just an update to them breaking their record last month, where they're just continuing that streak. This raised an idea in my head where, so you can't get a PS5 or an Xbox Series X or S anywhere, right? The second they go live on the markets, they are completely bought up and taken. So how is PS5 managing to outsell Xbox if they're both just selling out completely? I'm thinking if maybe there's something we're not hearing about. For instance, is Microsoft the reason why Xbox isn't selling more Xboxes? Like, Microsoft is like, we got to figure out our semiconductor and silicon issues. Like, you guys and your fucking games can wait. Whereas, Sony's biggest asset is PlayStation. So they're like, the new line of Sony Bravia TVs, those can wait. Like, we need all the silicon and semiconductors for the PlayStations. This again could just me being super conspiratorial, torally, but how do you feel about it, Jay? Any deeper thoughts than they're just fucking crushing it?
Wasn't there a rumor that one of these were like selling out to scalpers?
Well, it's a combination, yeah, people get their hands on them,
No,
but I mean, people totally, yeah, scalpers are totally getting the majority of them. There was an article saying scalpers had an insane amount. I can't remember what it is. I think they had more PlayStations than PlayStation themselves. But PlayStation and Xbox, to throw them into it too, they don't care who the consoles are being bought. They're being
right,
paid for. They don't care. Honestly, what they care about is the fact that they can't sell them more. What the, seeing people buying these consoles for as low as $800 on eBay, that's, that makes Sony pissed because that shows them that they could be selling two consoles to people almost.
right.
So yeah, I think there might be, something kind of not being really talked about, but yeah, that's you got anything else? You got anything to say?
No, I
Nope.
do not.
All right. Story number 2. Let's see here. Or update number 2. I got to get used to that one. This is referring back to last week's bombshell of an article over at Bloomberg. Naughty Dog says it's still struggling with multi-project development. So Evan Wells did an interview with AIS is what I think it was called, a podcast, where he was basically talking about how how Naughty Dog has, since Uncharted 2, been trying to do this multi-development team structure where, since Uncharted 2, Neil Druckmann and, who is it? Bruce Straley, they went off to go and do their Last of Us, start working on Last of Us while they finished up on Uncharted 2, but they needed all the resources they could get for Uncharted 2. And that's basically been the story of Naughty Dog since Uncharted 2. They've constantly been trying to break up into these multi-studio projects and do these multiple pieces, but all in all, Naughty Dog is such perfectionists that they need all resources, all hands on deck for whatever their headline title is. So what this says to me is stop trying to make The Last of Us remastered. Stop trying to make new Uncharted games. Make a new fucking IP. Finish the multiplayer for The Last of Us and move on from that. What do you got, Jay? Anything? Oh yeah, what is it? I'm pretty sure I've talked to you about this before, but this was a quote from Evan Wells over at the podcast Game Maker's Notebook podcast is what it's called. In quotes, we tried our first major multi-project development with The Last of Us, Wells said. At the end of Uncharted 2, Bruce Straley and Neil Druckmann went off to start designing that, although they did spend a good solid 3 or 4 months working on Jack or Daxter. The article's still on IGN. It's from shit. It's probably close to a decade old at this point. By Colin Moriarty. It's a extremely long article. It's the history of Naughty Dog. And he gets into how they were working on Jack and Daxter before they landed on The Last of Us. And the reason why they dropped Jack and Daxter is because they had a set engine for Uncharted and going into The Last of Us. So they're not going to scrap this whole engine. So they made Jack and Daxter on the Uncharted and The Last of Us engine. And they said it was scary. They said it was like super uncanny valley and just did not look right and would not work as a platformer. And they just completely scrapped it and moved on to The Last of Us for the better, in my opinion.
Right.
But I know you're not the biggest fan of The Last of Us. How would you? I know you want to let Jack and Daxter so bad.
Yeah, I do. Like, why can't they make it in like the Crash engine?
Well, that's my whole issue. Is that's the only way I feel like that game will ever get made is if they send it off to
Dude, I
the people who made Crash, Insane Trilogy, or if they send it off to the people who even did Medieval remake, which was a PlayStation exclusive.
even if they did like a Jack and Daxter trilogy,
Yeah, for sure.
I'd be happy with that.
Yeah,
But yeah, I don't know. I wasn't a fan of The Last of Us. And like, hey, you got to give me credit. Like, I played that game. I grinded it through. I played that game. Like, I got everything I could out of it, and I was like, pretty good. But it's not like Uncharted 2 to me.
oh
I loved Uncharted 2.
oh my god, you're out of your mind. The fucking
Actually,
I,
all
I,
of
I'm
Uncharted.
trying to even remember the name of the boss at the end of Uncharted 2. It was Russian. It was like Selmachev or something like that. I can't even remember. It was terrible, completely out of left field, and completely awful.
It was like
Um,
Indiana Jones. Like it
yeah.
had a weird like Yetis and shit.
Um, oh yeah. Just one thing that I wanted to go back to with the PlayStation 5 article is with the MPD sales, they also get into the March 2021's best-selling games. And there's a couple things in here of note. The first one is Minecraft at number 10. How?
Should be number one.
How is that game still selling? Outriders at number 3. That's a free on one of the three consoles it's on. It's free, so that just shows how well that game's doing. Super Mario 3D All Stars. I was expecting that to actually be a lot higher up, just because that game is now no longer on the market. Um, and then there was one, oh yeah, Spider-Man Miles Morales. So if you look at the specific numbers for this game, it has sold more than The Last of Us Part 2 and Ghost of Tsushima. That is fucking outrageous. It
Mm.
launched was when did Ghost launch? In July or August? So this thing launched 3 months after Ghosts, and no, because yeah, it was August because Last of Us Part 2 was July. Or no, it was June and then July. It was something in the fucking summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, this game launched upwards of 4 months out from those two games, and it sold more than those two games. I think it's just shows both the attachment rate to the PS5 for that game and how much fucking people love the Spider-Man series on PlayStation. And goddamn, when the official Spider-Man 2 comes out, that shit's gonna sell like gangbusters. That shit is going
Mm-hmm.
to destroy. Oh my god, I can't fucking wait. Can't
I
wait.
just hope. I hope it's like Venom, like
Oh no, see,
black suit.
let me just put this on the fucking record straight. I am so annoyed with, even to this day, people are like, well, they still never put the black suit in the original or in the first game. It's just like, because do you not understand the like symbolism with that suit?
I do.
Just to make that suit just a skin would be an insult. That suit is going to be the driving force of the second game. That is going to be the threat. That is going to be the plot line of that game. I promise you.
Right.
And if it's not of that game, it's of the third game, and then that's going to end a trilogy. But based on how the ending after the mid cut scene sequence happened, I don't want to spoil it, but based on that, it's pretty. I feel like it's pretty set in stone that the second one is going to be about the symbiote suit. But on to the third update. This is just a quick run through. Ubisoft announced that they are going to be attending E3 this year, June 12th at 12 p.m. Pacific time. I believe that's 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, our time. I will be doing a live reactions to that and all of E3 for that matter. Ubi Forward, that's their PlayStation State of Play, their Nintendo Direct, their Xbox, whatever Xbox has.
It's basically where they're gonna announce a new Splinter Cell game and
It,
make me pass out.
I will wait until I see that. I'm not going to believe anything until I actually see that from them themselves. They have been doing Sam Fisher so dirty for so
I
long.
know, dude. He's one of their best characters.
But I feel like it's pretty I feel pretty confident in saying you'll get Far Cry 6 gameplay, maybe a release date for that. You'll get Assassin's Creed Valhalla DLC update. You'll get Rainbow Six. I don't even remember. Parasite is what I think they called it. I still don't even know why they're devoting so much time to that game. And of course, you're gonna get Just Dance on the Wii U. Calling it now. Number one E3 prediction. I'm lying, I'm dying. That game
The
is
Wii
going on.
U.
Oh yeah, dude. Just Dance comes out on every fucking console. Look it up. Look up Just Dance 2020 and tell me what that game came out on. I bet you it came out on the Wii U. Dude, Just Dance 2019 came out on the Wii, I'm pretty sure.
That's
Like,
whack.
yeah, those games the Wii sold like 100 and fucking 10 million units. Like those things are out there somewhere. Some people still have those that are just dancing. um but then update number 4, I don't really have a little tab for this. I just saw that Castlevania season 4 is coming this year. It's I don't know if you've watched the Castlevania animated series on Netflix. It is, even if you're not a Castlevania
Is it
fan,
good? I wanted to watch it.
dude, even if, like I said, even if you're not a Castlevania fan, watch that shit. It is so fucking good. It goes by really quickly because the seasons are actually pretty short. Like I think the episodes are usually about 20 minutes an episode, and then the first season there's only like 3 or 4 episodes in it. Um and yeah, no, dude, it is so metal. It is like the most metal
Yeah.
show you will ever watch. And yeah, like I said, you don't really have to have any attachment to Castlevania. It just helps. And I'm definitely going to talk about that one when we get to the big topic of the show. And then the fifth update is Sony invests another 200 million into Epic Games. I believe back in November or October, they invested 240 million into Epic Games for, I believe, 0.4 or 0.5% of the company. So I would imagine
This is
that
good.
I would imagine
is
that
good.
I'd imagine they're at about 1% ownership stake in Epic Games. And I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but I I don't know what they're doing that for a reason. They wouldn't have
Unreal
given
Engine.
they wouldn't have given Epic Games the amount of money you could buy 2 studios for nothing. And yeah, like you
It,
said, they when Epic debuted the Unreal 5 engine, they debuted it running on a PS5. Um, so
yeah.
all of that combined, I feel like there might be something in the works. Maybe Sony could be working with them to get their hands on the Unreal Engine 5. Maybe as a nah, it won't be as not that would be too much. That would be too much. They would need to cough up a lot more for exclusivity on that engine.
No,
Um,
they can't do that
yeah, yeah. But
because it's always been open
yeah,
to
yeah,
everyone.
yeah. That's why I backed on that one. And then update number 6, Resident Evil Village. Capcom had their live Resident Evil Village event yesterday. It was about 20 minutes long. I live
Fill
reacted
me
to
in.
I live reacted to that. So if you missed that, you could go over to our Twitch archives, twitch.tv/punk with a controller, and check those out. It was pretty short. It looks really big. They didn't really get too much into gameplay mechanics, or I wish they got a little more into it. There's going to be crafting in the sense of there's going to be a hunting and cooking mechanic. There's 2 sections, like a castle and the village itself. So like I said, it seems a lot bigger than previous Resident Evils, but it still looks like it's going to be linear. They're bringing back the mercenaries mode from, I think it's 5 and 6. They said, like, like the legendary mercenaries mode, the mercenaries mode that everyone adored. I was like, I've never heard a single fucking person even mention Resident Evil multiplayer. So I just see it as, like, another one of those add-ons for them to, kind of extend the
Yeah.
life of the game for a bit. And then they show there's a bunch of demos. Go look up the demo schedule for yourself if you want. I do not fucking understand how that shit is working for the life of me. It is unbelievable how they have that shit structured. Like, you can only access it for a half hour, 8 hours, or 8 hours during, this day of the week. And it's just like, what the fuck is going on? And then PlayStation, you could download them now, but they're not accessible until like 3 days before the game comes out. It's like, I'll just fucking wait until the game comes out. So yeah, that's really weird. And then they showed a trailer for the Netflix CGI animated series. That shit looks really cool. My only concern is that it'll be like a Final Fantasy VII Advent Children situation where 10 years from now it won't age well and we'll have games that look better than it, similar to Final Fantasy VII Remake and Final Fantasy VII Advent Children. And then I just thought of this one. Nintendo had their Nintendo Direct where they debuted some new indie titles. It was like an indie showcase. So if you want to go and catch up on those games, there's only one off the top of my head that really sticks out. It's called Route 99, I believe is what it was called. It was like a Telltale cross. What are those games? Super big. Don't Nod makes them. Shit. It's slipping my mind. I can't think of it. Look up Don't Nod. That's those guys who developed those games. It reminds me of something like them crossed with Telltale, like Walking Dead style. And that game looks really fucking cool. I'm excited to see that. And then there's some other indie games like 2D side scrollers. So if that piques your interest, you could go and check those out. And then let's see here, our 7th update, just quickly running through these. This is a tweet that Game of Thrones put out on Tuesday saying winter is coming from the official Game of Thrones Twitter. Jay, are you a fan of Game of Thrones at all? Did you ever get into it?
Well, no, but I just got HBO Max, so once I finish The Last Kingdom, I'm going to watch that. Then
Dude,
I'm going to watch Vikings.
Game of Thrones is one of the best written shows up until those last fucking 2 seasons. It is astonishing. Like, I'm not even kidding. The way the characters develop in that show, it is unfucking believable. I've never seen anything like it. And it went from being a masterpiece of a show because of those 2 seasons to just a great show. A lot of people's speculation from this is like, oh, are they going to remake the last 2 seasons? Or, oh, are they going to do like a theatrical release? Or like, they add to them or something like that. I saw Ryan McCaffrey of IGN tweet out that he's speculating because a lot of these big companies, you can do like similar to when you upload a YouTube video, you can like, set a timer to it. So, uploads at this specific time. He thinks that they uploaded it, like they just set the wrong year and like completely forgot about it. And I was thinking that I could totally see that, but then why not delete the tweet? But then they're probably just having fun with their 182,000 fucking likes and 69,000 retweets and 11,000 comments. So I don't see anything coming from this. I honestly do think.
Because how many people are gonna like then go on Facebook, and then all the boomers are gonna be like, "Oh my god, we gotta rewatch Game of Thrones."
Dude, I've been wanting to rewatch it lately, but those last seasons are just nah. And then what is it? Story number 8, update number 8. So this is over at Game Informer by Leanna Rupert. Go and read this one for yourself because it's just interesting. Jeff Ross, who was the creative director for Days Gone, went on David Jaffe's podcast, who was the director. He was the original director of the God of War series and Twisted Metal. Shout out to Sweet Tooth. And he was basically just talking about what he knows, or what he can basically talk about with what happened with Days Gone 2 and why he left Sony. It's kind of sad. And basically he gets into what he wanted Days Gone to be and how he wanted to be a shared universe. They wanted, what is it? Regarding what could have been, in parentheses, and officially what could have technically still be to honor NDNA in place. Yeah, he was pretty restricted on what he could say. Ross confirmed that Days Gone 2 pitch included a, in quotes, shared universe with co-op play. He then stated that co-op was always the plan for Days Gone, but the plan didn't see fruition with the first game because the team had to, in quote, make concessions for what you're going to be able to do. And then he put out a tweet, I think it was on Wednesday, and I don't have a link to that just because I only have so much Stream Deck space. And it's kind of solemn, or like it kind of got swept under. Sorry, so much Gatorade. Fucking hell. Okay. So yeah, he put out a tweet that I feel like no one's really reporting on, where he said, and I quote, Jason Schreier is allowed to be more honest than I'm allowed. And I feel like that could just be in reference to the NDA itself, but I feel like that could be him saying maybe Sony's, keeping his mouth shut. But I'm sure it's just the NDA. I'm not sure. Yeah, I know you're interested in Days Gone. How would you like it? How would you have been interested in a multiplayer, like shared universe, kind of like a Rust situation, but it's like 4 people and like just you and your party? Because I remember Wednesday when I was streaming, Steak Knives was in the chat, and he was asking if the game was multiplayer because he's been looking for a good multiplayer zombie game to get into. And I was like, I wish it could have been, but nope. Yeah, would you?
World War Z.
No, I mean like this open world, going into like these rundown cities and looting shit. So yeah, would I know, like I said, I know you're interested in it. Would you have liked to do have been multiplayer? See it in that shared.
Like in the aspect of what's the game? Dying Light.
Okay.
Yes. Like jump in, jump out type deal.
Yeah, for sure.
But I don't know about like an open world like
Well, like I said, go and
or
read.
like Ghost Recon Wildlands type deal.
Well, like I said, go and read the article for yourself if you're interested, but or just listen to the podcast clip. But he gets into how it was going to be like you were going to start a motorcycle club together, and we're playing together. I don't have time to play, so you want to hop in and you go and farm some shit. Oh shit, we got a bot in the chat. What up, bot? Yeah, I want to become famous. All I gotta do is buy followers. Fuck yes. How much? Jay, let's buy some followers.
No, 1 ban. Give him a ban. You don't have a chat bot?
I don't have a chat bot. I don't know Twitch. I don't know Twitch.
Click on it. You can make me a mod.
Are you in the chat?
Yeah.
Where are you at? Dude, I don't know how fucking Twitch works this deep. I'm never this deep in.
/moderate space Lord X Ham. Or at Lord X Ham.
Wait, you said /
Moderate.
And then you said at Lord X Ham?
Yeah, space at Lord X Ham.
Cool. That work? Gonna have to clip this out. Unrecognized command.
I don't know if that.
Did that work? I don't know if that worked.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. Fuck it. I'll figure this out later. This is stupid.
Finally.
Now I lost where I'm at. Where am I? Days Gone. That was 8. So story number 9, I believe. Yes, this is a quick little bruising past this because this is some super weeb shit that I know you don't care about. Genshin Impact 1.5 update for the PlayStation 5 version has been dated. This is going to be live on April 28th, 2021. So not next week, but the week after that. This is that Japanese gacha game. It's like an action RPG that's basically a complete and total knockoff of Breath of the Wild that is free on everything except for Xbox, which is really cool. I might actually check it out this next patch and see how it is because it is a gacha game, so you do have to pay to pull a roulette wheel to maybe win a character. But from what I understand, you got about 20 to 25 hours before the gacha mechanics actually come into play. So people say there's, actually a good game there. So if you're interested in that, you could come over here to Video Games Chronicle. Tom Ivan did a little run up on that. And then this is the last of the updates. This is update number 10. Am I making something out of nothing? During the Resident Evil showcase, when they were going over the big happy 25-year anniversary spiel, they had a lot of Sony people on, just talking about their history with Resident Evil and PlayStation. And when Mark Cerny came on, he had a Luden statue in the back on his fucking shelf. Now, I know this is me being nitpicky, but Jeff Grubb, when he wrote that report about Phil Spencer talking to Hideo Kojima about having him work exclusively with Xbox, Jeff Grubb confirmed that the Luden statue on Phil Spencer's shelf was a little tease that they were in the talks. So everyone's just joking about this. I think both Phil and Mark are buying Kojima Productions. Jokes aside, with where the industry is at, I could totally see this being a fucking weird announcement of them being like, they're just going to be multi-platform games. Which, I don't know, is still a hit to Sony, but if Sony loses Kojima entirely, I cannot reiterate this enough. That is fucking explosive. That is terrible. I really, really hope that is not true. And like I said, I am truly taking this as a sign that that they're not going anywhere. What do you see, Jay? Am I being crazy?
Yes. No. No.
No? Because like I said, this is confirmed. He put that statue on his shelf to tease. Just like he had Indiana Jones' hat and whip on his shelf to tease.
Yeah.
Look at fucking Mark Cerny's. There's some books. And that looks like a Destiny Ghost, maybe. That is a Luden right there. That's a fucking lewd.
Ludes.
So yeah, I'm not crazy. You think there might be something to it?
Maybe it'll just be like you said, cross-platform.
I fucking hope so. All right. And then onto the little check this out. We got this game called Gourd. This is from ex-CD Projekt Red developers. Just gonna let it play here for a moment.
With vile demons, brought here by Veles himself. Anyone who bends the knee to the king will help raise the gourds and destroy those who stand in our path. We will tread into cursed grounds.
I love the black and
And
white.
face unspeakable horrors. Whatever may come to pass, I ask only one thing.
I like the animation.
The survival
I like the
of our people.
the texture, like the style, art style. It gives me Witchery vibes.
It looks dope. Yeah, my whole like thing with that is like I feel like people who worked on the Witcher series, they were like, we don't want to make a first person shooter. And
Right.
they knew. They knew it wasn't going to be the RPG that they were marketing it as. They're like, this is a first person shooter and we don't want to make this. So yeah, this looks fucking dope.
I dig it. Like it might be like maybe it could be like a Valheim. Like you travel out, get shit, bring it back.
Yeah, permadeath, like that's why you create your like family kind of thing. One dies, then you immediately got to jump to the other one.
Yeah, and dude, that fucking tree looks wicked. Like right out of Diablo. Like I like that.
And that could be that could lead to some fun, like almost like internal stories like in your own mind, like fuck, your three big warrior kind of explorer guys are down. Now you're down to the daughter. The daughter's got to go out and explore. She's ill equipped, so you got to kind of, make her a super badass and develop her. But yeah, no, that game looks cool. There's no release window or anything like that. I imagine it'll
I'm sure
probably
we'll
go to
get
early
more
access. Yeah, we'll probably
info
see
at
something.
E3.
Yeah, something in the summertime. IGN will do it in their summer games fest, or Jeff Keighley will do something in his bullshit.
But look at that. Wait, right there. Is that multiplayer confirmed? If you go back, it was like moving and then like two other people doing shit. Unless those were just two villagers, but like gathering resource. I don't know. I didn't say anything about multiplayer, did it? Maybe I'm just.
Yeah, I didn't.
Been able to conquer these horrid lands.
Maybe
Filled
they
with
actually said
vile
something?
demons, brought here by Veles himself. Anyone who bends the knee to the king will
No.
help raise the gourds.
Not really specific. I mean, I'm sure there'll be a multiplayer aspect to it. That'd be cool. Now let's get on to the actually news of this week. Story number one. This is back over at the Video Games Chronicle. We're going to be citing them a lot, I feel. Andy Robinson, Nintendo says it has enough parts to immediate Switch production. Nintendo's president has provided an update on Switch hardware production, stating that the company has been able to secure enough semiconductors for immediate production. However, speaking to Nikki, in parentheses it says paywall, Shituro Furukawa, Jesus, warned that the Switch could still experience hardware shortages this year due to significant demand. We have been able to secure the necessary materials for the immediate production of semiconductors for Switches, he said. However, in Japan and other countries, demand has been very strong since the beginning of the year, and there is a possibility of shortages at some retailers in the future. Jay, is this any surprise to you? I mean, pretty much every piece of tech is short.
Yeah, because everyone's at home. Everyone's got kids that they want to shut up. Use the Switch.
I mean, there are even rumors that Samsung is going to have to postpone the next Note, which is insane because Samsung, will work their fucking people to the fucking floor to. You leaving? Okay, cool. I'll see you. Yeah, Samsung will straight up work their people to the fucking floor to, get their product out on the line. So seeing that they're, considering canceling the Note or delaying it is substantial. So, yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm surprised that it's taken them this long to actually hit any shortages or any kind of stock issues like that. Yeah, I know. No, I was talking about other games that it outsold, came out in summer. Sorry. So yeah, yeah, this is like I said, this comes as no surprise to anyone. Honestly, depending on how short they get, I might sell my fucking Switch because that thing's just collecting dust at this point.
I play mine all the time. Toilet.
Story number two. This is by Push Square over from Sammy Barker. Sony wants to bring PlayStation's most popular franchises to smartphones. Stop it! Stop! Sony, stop! Stop! This fucking broke literally like 2 hours after we finished fucking streaming Friday. Or Saturday morning. Saturday morning is when it fucking broke. Why? It doesn't. Between the Japanese development arm, Forward Works, and failed initiatives like PlayStation Mobile, there's no question Sony has been looking for ways to leverage its biggest brands on mobile for some time. How it looks like it's in the early stages of establishing a new department within PlayStation Studios infrastructure with a focus on converting its key franchises to smartphone. Jay, last episode we just got done talking about wasting resources. Like, I get there's a big market to be tapped in with smartphones, and there are some companies like Nintendo that have done it very well with Niantic, but you don't have a Pokemon. You don't have a Mario Kart. You don't have a
do Temple Run with Nathan Drake for the new.
Like, that's what they're gonna do, I feel. Honestly. Like, they don't have any place there. They want to bring their biggest PlayStation's
Why don't they need to bring something to
franchises.
compete with like the Switch or something? I don't know, like another handheld.
Oh god, Jay, how much I would want a Vita too, but with how they aren't even acknowledging Vita's death, it's insulting. Like, literally, not a blog post, to honor the handheld. It's a fucking damn shame. Not a blog post to honor the PSP, not a blog post to honor the PS3. It's fucking pissing me off at this point. Like, I thought I would have maybe calmed down after all this shit, but all of Sony's info is really fucking getting to me. And I don't know what their bombshell drop is gonna be. I don't know if they got one, but they fucking need one, because I am sick of this. Now let's get on to the story number 3 real quick. We're gonna rush through these because we're already falling a little bit behind. Epic Games is losing an absurd amount of money on exclusive games. This is over by Gabe Gerwin at GameSpot. Epic Games seems to understand that given the lead Steam had and its massive current user base, the only way it can be a viable competitor is to have other games, or to have games that you can't play on Steam, at least for a period of time. Exclusivity deals with third-party companies cost money, and it looks like Epic Games is losing a huge amount of money to make those exclusives happen. However, Epic Games CEO Tim Sweeney doesn't seem remotely worried about this. In fact, he seems pretty proud of it. As spotted by PC Gamer, despite paying approximately $444 million for, in quotes, minimum guarantees on third-party games for the Epic Games Store in 2020, sales of all third-party games for the year amounted to about $265 million. That is a loss. I'm not good at math, but that's a loss. Apple said that Epic Games lost about $181 million on the Epic Games Store in 2019, putting total losses thus far at more than $300 million. Should these figures be correct, big games like Metro Exodus and Control were released first on EGS before coming to Steam later. At the time, especially with Metro, the respective game companies were criticized for this decision. Since then, it has become a fairly common practice. So, from what I understand, I looked it up because I was curious. They paid about $10 million for Control. That's a lot of fucking money. That's a lot of money for.
Hey, you know what? And the thing about Steam is there's just so many people out there that would say, fuck it, I'll wait.
Yeah. I mean, that's how I was. I was like, oh, wait, these games are on Steam now? Well, maybe I will go check out Metro.
I rushed to get Hitman 3. It was exclusive, but Hitman 3 sold 300% more than Hitman 2 when it released.
Yeah. So
great game. Ding. Little sidebar.
We'll see where this goes with them, but I also incorporate to them, they're so far behind. Steam's been around since like what, 2008-ish? 2009?
Forever, since the dawn of time.
So, yeah, they've got a lot of catching up to do if they want to
Lord Gabe.
Yeah, if they want to catch up with any of that. But story number 4, this one has got me pretty upset. This is back over at VGC, back with Tom Ivan. I've cited them pretty much this entire episode. BioShock 4 will be an open world game, a job advert has suggested. One of 17 openings currently available at the studio is for a senior writer who will be charged with helping bring the world of BioShock to life once again. The job advert, in parentheses spotted by PC Games, Games N, in parentheses, added, in quotes, "We're hoping to find someone who can weave impactful characters-driven stories in an open-world setting. While the first two games in the series took place in the underwater city of Rapture and the third in the floating city of Columbia, a job advert spotted in August 2020 suggested BioShock 4 will take place in a new fantastical world." Another current opening for the senior technical audio designer described that as a, in quote, "AAA narrative-driven FPS project full of characters and personality," end quote. Cloud Chambers is also seeking an AI programmer to, end quote, "to flesh out and design and finalize the implementations of an urban crowd system and systemic tribal ecology of something of a sometimes hostile AI," end quote. He did not butcher that. I butchered that. And it's on the lookout for senior world designer to, in quote, "combine hard-crafted set pieces with emerging AI behavior to create a living world that offers players variety at every step of the game," end quote. Jay, I'm gonna start off first. This pisses me off. BioShock is not an open world game.
No, it is.
Don't make it an open world game. Sorry. Now I'm getting heated.
See, let me take you down off that heated ledge you're on right now. Just let me take you down a little bit. No, BioShock is supposed to be a narrative, linear-driven game full of detail, like just. I don't know. BioShock 3 stood out to me. Like, I played the first two long ago, but the third one it just had a sense of exploration, but still was linear, and it just needed to be that way to drive the narrative.
Yeah.
Sometimes you backtrack.
Well, yeah, that's a big thing with BioShock games is they're basically Metroidvania style. They're basically Metroidvania games. Yeah, I really don't want this at all. Because so much of BioShock is the world building and the world design, and there are so many little things in the game that if it's open world, you will miss or you won't get, or if you do get, they won't hit you the right way. Like in the third game with the guitar that you can play in the cellar, or in the first game with the pistol in the crib. There are these moments that you won't they won't feel as nuanced as they would if you just stumble upon them while you're walking around in the open world, when they can be structured to you narratively through the path of the actual video game. My least favorite BioShock game is the second one, and that's just because it's not a Ken Levine joint. He didn't have anything to do with that. That was 2K Australia, I believe, that developed that one. And so I'm nervous for this new BioShock. I really don't want it to be open world.
No, and then we're I would like it to be back and forth between the two. Rapture and Columbia, instead of like that.
Well,
that would be pretty cool, because where else can you go?
Well, that's the thing, is they say a new fantastical world, so I hope that that at least is true, and that's cool. But there was always talks in the lore of BioShock of, I can't remember what it was called, but there was a space station that was basically like a casino, like just a massive utopia almost kind of place. So I thought it'd be
cool.
Yeah, go up there. That'd be cool. But story number 5, these next two stories, 5 and 6, they're our last two stories. These broke, 6 actually broke later. 5 broke it was a rumor that broke yesterday evening, and then it got clarified this morning. Square Enix is not for sale. This is by Joe Scrabbles over at IGN. I got a burp. 1 second. Square Enix has said that it will not consider selling the company and has not received any offers after a report claimed multiple potential buyers were interested in an acquisition. CTFN reported that 2 bankers had indicated that several potential buyers were interested in purchasing the developer/publisher behind Final Fantasy and Outriders. Bloomberg Japan then reported the news, which led Square Enix to respond. In quote, Bloomberg has reported today that there is interest from several buyers to acquire Square Enix, end quote, reads a press release, start quote again. However, this report is not based on any announcement by Square Enix Holdings Co., Ltd. We do not consider selling off the company or any part of its business, nor have we received any offer from any third party to acquire the company or any part of its business, end quote. It is, of course, possible that both sides of the story are true. There may well be parties interested in Square Enix, and Square Enix itself may be unwilling to sell them. That said, analyst David Gibson pointed to the idea that this could be bankers trying to drum up business in Square Enix. So my whole theory with this is that Square Enix is a publicly traded company, so they had to come out and squash this rumor right from the get-go, whether it's true or not, just so it doesn't affect their stock. Because if they just let this one linger, then yeah, that their stocks would have dropped. They've also been known to like totally lie, so they could totally have gotten offers from people, and they're just not talking about them yet. I don't know yet, but how do you feel about Square Enix? Do you like Square Enix at all? They published Hitman for a while, so you gotta have some history with them.
Yeah, they published Hitman and ruined it. And then IO Interactive got it back in their hands and fixed it.
Well, hasn't Square Enix been publishing Hitman forever?
I'm not
developing it, but
certain.
publishing it. Let me see here.
Yeah, check her out.
Hitman. What was the first one called?
Codename 47.
Let's see. Wikipedia. Developers, IO Interactive. Publisher, IDOS Interactive. Okay, yeah, no, so...
Yeah, no, it was IDOS up through... Absolution was the first one Square Enix, I think, did. And then Square Enix was on the first game, and then halfway through, like... See, look, 2009 to present, but the newest one, I don't think... I'm not sure.
Oh, wait, nope, right there. Taken over by
Yeah,
Square Enix in 2009. And then, yeah, this one came out. I know it came out before 2009, but I'm just curious. Silent Assassin was released in 2002. So, okay, yeah, no, so the whole original trilogy was done before Square Enix took over. Okay. That's just what I wanted to know. But no, I personally have a massive affinity for Square Enix and the fact that they create one of my favorite video game series of all time, Final Fantasy. So I am happy that they're not for sale. I really don't know why I mean, I know Xbox is trying to get their hands into the Japanese games, but I mean, Square Enix is just so broad that they can make so much money off of Final Fantasy selling across everything that even Final Fantasy 14 not being on anything is kind of strange to me, besides PlayStation and PC. So, again, I believe them when they say that they haven't gotten any offers and that these rumors aren't true. I hope that's not true. And, I mean, they have so many deals with PlayStation that even if it was true, I would imagine it was PlayStation who made the offer, because let's see, we got Final Fantasy 7 Remake is still exclusive with no word on that coming to Xbox yet, even though their exclusivity timing has ended. It ended this week, actually. They got Final Fantasy 16, which is going to be exclusive. They have Forspoken, that new RPG that's going to be exclusive. They have Final Fantasy 14 that's exclusive. Resident Evil Village, they got the marketing rights to that, and they got all of these exclusive first to access demos and all this shit. So I feel like they got some deal going on with PlayStation that no one is really talking about. And then this next one, this final story of the week, story number 6, Xbox games maybe a bit farther away than we believe. You could just go away. Subscribe? No. Oh, no.
No.
Well, fuck. I guess we got to deal with ads then. This is I disabled my ad blocker, you piece. Forget Elder Scroll. Bruh. Okay. Hold on. This is going to be annoying, but this is probably my favorite story of the week, so I want to pull it up. Where are we at here? I'm going to pull it up on my phone because I read it on my phone, so it should totally be fine on my phone. Right?
No.
All right. Yes, it does totally work. All right. Forget Elder Scrolls 6. Even Xbox's Perfect Dark, Fable, and Everwild still likely years away. Where are we at here? So many ads. Well, it's clear that Microsoft is undergoing a fundamental structural change in terms of how they amass talent to produce first-party hits. What's becoming clear is that they may have gotten started on this project a little late. What's happened is that Microsoft has not assembled all these studios, given these teams big assignments and the funding they need in time to produce games for the launch window of the Xbox Series X. Rather, the vast majority of that investment is not going to pay off for several years. Dude, so many ads. This has already been the case for Bethesda games like Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6, which we know are years away, little more than title cards right now. But the reality appears to be the same situation is playing out with all Microsoft's other high-profile projects that are not named Halo Infinite. Speaking on the VGC podcast, GameIndustry.biz's Christopher Dring, GamesIndustry.biz, they're a very reputable source, said he's been talking to Xbox friends, and we should not be expecting these new Xbox games until possibly even a new mid-gen console upgrade. He said, in quotes, Everwild, Perfect Dark, Fable are so far away, as in they might not even be in a new Xbox by the time these games come out. And when you look at the Hideo Kojima stuff and you wonder if they are signing third parties in the moment because they don't have the lineup for big exclusives at all. Holy shit, Jay. Could you fucking imagine if they don't have any first party major exclusives until 2023?
They screwed the pooch.
That is insane. Like, people were speculating Fable was going to be out a lot sooner than we thought because the game's just been rumored for so long.
Just Xbox being Xbox, man.
Now, as we approach the topic of the show, do you mind if I smoke a cigarette? We take a quick little 3-minute break, go pee-pee, grab a drink.
Go for it.
All right. I'm going to smoke a cigarette. We are going to go on a quick little 5-minute break here. We will be back. I'm going to go to the bathroom and smoke a cigarette and grab a beer. Please like and subscribe, twitch.tv/punkwithacontroller. Jay Hamilton here. Please go over to his twitch.tv/aka Lord X Ham and give him some love. We will be right back shortly. 2 seconds. And we are back. We are here with the topic of the show. This is a new little subject we're adding at the end of the stream where we're just gonna decide a topic that we want to talk about gaming wise, and we're gonna just go over that throughout the week, throughout the episode. So this week we're doing our top 5 favorite games of all time. I described this at the top of the episode. What we got here is 10 games total. We got 5 honorable mentions, games that we want to be on the list, but we feel are a little shy of the games that we actually feel are our top 5 games of all time. So we'll start with the honorable mentions. We'll go back and forth. Jay, why don't we start with you? First of all, are your are your games in any particular order, or are you just put them down there?
Honorable mentions aren't. I accidentally flip-flopped my other list.
Oh yeah, I see that. Okay,
So,
yeah,
bottom
that's cool.
to top.
For sure. So yeah, no, if you want to start with your number 5 in the honorable mentions, go right for it.
Well, those are kind of jumbled, but I would have to say Hitman Blood Money.
Good choice, good choice.
Hitman Blood Money. Reason why it's not in the honorable mentions as well. Hasn't really aged well. In a sense of like gameplay, I guess. Like I've tried going and replaying it, and you know, it's kind of difficult. I don't know. It's just like just couldn't fit it in. It's just not up there, but it's up there. Like I just remember having the flu one year and playing like this game nonstop. Like you know, I'm starting to get a little better. I'm like, I think I still have a fever, Mom. I gotta stay home. You know, like just to like beat it. So like, yeah, I think it was like the best game in the original like set of Hitman games.
Yeah, I agree with you on that end. The suburban mission and the hotel.
Oh, A New Life. Every time I bring this game up, they're like, A New Life?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, dude.
The hotel mission too was Mardi Gras. That game had the best levels out of that original trilogy, in my opinion.
The White House?
Oh yeah, just super in depth. My number 5 is a little game called Mario Party 3. 3 specifically. I did not have too much attachment to Mario Party in the OG days on the Nintendo 64 and on the GameCube when I was a kid, with the good Mario parties. But when my brothers got their own place, there was basically a cheaper by the dozen situation of stoners, where it was just 12 people who lived in a duplex house, and there was a bunch of games there. And I remember coming over one day and everyone had Mario Party on the Nintendo 64 setup, and everyone was sitting around in front of the TV playing Mario Party 3. And we fucking played that game, I shit you not, for like 3 months straight. And me and when Ron moved in, we fucking busted out the 64 and continued to play Mario Party. It was those games. A win in Mario Party means more to me than a win in any other multiplayer game ever. Just because the ability to fucking rub it in my fucking competitor's face right fucking there, and you do dick over your competitors. Like like people always like, oh, this game ruins friendships. This game ruins friendships. Was Among Us ruins friendships. No, I legitimately stopped talking to people because of Mario Party. That game yeah, I mean, it got violent in the sense of like, I remember Ron had a massive blister on his palm because there was a mini game where you had to rotate the joystick a bunch, and he was going so fucking ham with it that it just tore his palm up. He had to get that W in that one mini game. And
when you wind the propeller up.
Yeah, the frustration, the joy, Mario Party in general, I really love, but the latest entries have been anything but good. The Switch one's okay. The Switch one's all right.
It's okay.
Me and Ron live stream that one every now and again, but the old school, the 1 through 3s, those are the best ones.
Agreed. 100%.
Hit me with your number 4.
Number 4, Mercenaries, Playground of Destruction.
Which one is that like the
first
full
one?
Okay, I never knew the full title. I thought it was just called Mercenaries.
Yep, Mercenaries, Playground of Destruction. And I just remember being a little kid, and I got it on my Xbox, and holy shit, it blew my mind. Literally do anything you want and just level anything you want and hijack anything you want. And I was able to get around, like, my parents wouldn't let me play Grand Theft Auto. So I was like, it's rated T, look. And they're like, all right. And I'm like sitting here like,
then you nuke a small town.
Yeah, dude. And just like the factions and like all the characters and like, it's just all around great game. All the gadgets, gizmos, and gadgets and tanks, and just like if it has a door and it moves, you could drive it. Like,
R.I.P. Pandemic. My number 4 is my favorite multiplayer game of all time. That's SOCOM 2. Similar to Mario Party 3, I didn't get to it until not too much later. Like, the PS2 was still a common thing. People still had them, but I never had the internet adapter for a PS2, so I didn't get to PS2 online until I went to my rich buddy's house at the time, Wes, and played SOCOM at his place. And I didn't even really like the kid that much. I would just go to his house so I could play SOCOM. That is not an exaggeration. I would go over to his house on Friday. I would go over there at, I don't know, 4 o'clock, a little bit after school, stay there until fucking Saturday evening, and he would get annoyed with me because all I would do is play fucking SOCOM. It was the dopest online fucking competitive shooter I've ever played, and goddamn it. Yeah, for sure. And goddamn it, Sony, don't remake The Last of Us, remake SOCOM.
Agreed.
Want to hit me with your number 3?
Number 3, I had to say Escape from Tarkov.
Oh, it's new.
Yeah, a new one. But I went off of games that I know I like. Like, I've dumped almost 1,000 hours into Escape from Tarkov. Like, I can't lie. Like, I like that game. You know what I mean? But it's not on my top 5 because of the mental abuse it gives you. And just like, I don't really like some of the directions the devs are taking with some of the things. But that's whatever. It is the best survival, most realistic game. Like, if you want to know what being in a gunfight is like without being in a gunfight, play Escape from Tarkov. Because guess what? You ain't never been in a gunfight. So you get in, you get shot in the face, you're dead. Back to the lobby, lose all your shit. Bye-bye. It's just brutal. I love it.
Yeah, I never got into, or I don't you have to buy that game off of its own like URL? Like, that game's not on Steam.
Yeah, Battle State launcher.
Okay, yeah, that's why it always confused me. My number 3 is, when I was making my list, I was looking at it, I was like, I don't have a single RPG. And it was honestly really hard for me to not put in a Final Fantasy 6, Chrono Trigger, a Persona 4 Golden. It was hard for me to not put in a JRPG. So I did substitute it with The Witcher 3, The Wild Hunt. This fucking game. Another game I did not get to until I actually didn't play this game until January of 2020. That was when I actually sat down and played this game, just because when it first came out, it was so overwhelming with all of the question marks and all of the shit to do. It just completely took me over. And then January 2020, all caught up on my backlog, nothing left to play. It was on sale for like $5 with all the DLC. I was like, let's check it out. And I was just like, I'm going to do everything. And yeah, I did every question mark. I like uncovered everything on all the maps. And I've spent like 120 hours in that world. And for the first like 40 or 50 hours or so, it's the third game in the Witcher series, which is based off of a book series. So I have no affiliation with any of these characters. And there is a point near the end of your Skellige travels where you fucking kick open this door and you look across this cabin, and what you see, it fucking broke me. Oh, I was just like, again, no affiliation to these characters, and then all of a sudden I was as attached to these characters as I've ever been to any other characters, like within the snap of a fucking finger.
I was the same way. I kind of was like, I looked past it because I was like, The Witcher 3, I haven't played the first two. And then like I got like my buddy was like, dude, you gotta play this game. It's like the greatest RPG I've ever played. So I picked it up like a year later on like probably 2018, I would say. 20 somewhere around there. And I picked it up, overwhelmed as fuck. Overwhelmed, and I was playing Red Dead at the time, and the horse mechanics, I was like, the horse
Oh,
mechanics
night
are
and day
just
different.
god awful.
Yeah,
and
I just
and
ran the whole time. I hardly even used the horse.
yeah, and like I was like, and then I gave up, and then I tried starting it again, overwhelmed as fuck, gave up, started again, got a little farther, and then I just stopped touching my PS4, and I just like gave up. I like just like I love The Witcher, like I like the show, and I like the game. I just like it's just hasn't found its place to be played yet. If you catch my drift.
For sure, yeah, no, like I said, it was at that time where I caught up with all my backlog. There was no games coming out anywhere, so I did just have all of this free time. But what's your number two?
Number 2 is going to be the Saboteur.
Ooh, another pandemic.
Yes, that's one of my beloved studio
Yeah,
to me.
we both share a love for this game.
Dude, I'll never forget seeing it in a Game Informer, like a coming soon, and I saw like it was like I was like, this is like Mercenaries and Assassin's Creed, and at the time, the outfit. I don't
It
know
was
if you
like a
remember
Hitman.
that.
Well,
Yeah, and like Hitman,
because yeah, you could change your outfits and then you could blend in with people.
and it was open world,
Yeah,
and like you could scale shit, and just like the whole, it's black and white in oppressed Nazi areas, and only the red, because red's bad, red and blue eyes, fucking are bright in your face, and then when you liberate an area, color comes back, and the liberation influences the area, and it was just like such an underrated game that a lot of people have never heard of.
for sure.
And it is $10 on Origin with the PC port. Go play it. It's like
144 FPS.
yeah, dude. Like it runs great. It's just like the map's broke. Like it's a kind of a bad port, but like I
Wow.
played through it
Yeah.
like a year ago.
Yeah, no, that game was always really fucking interesting to me. Any game where you could just press a button and then you pull out a cigarette and start smoking, you got my money.
Yeah, you had one for your whiskey and one for your cigarette.
Did they do anything for you, or was it just you pulled out a smoke and you lit it up?
Um, I think I think it was just a thing, and then you had a counter cigarettes smoked in your stats.
Because yeah,
Literally, it was just a cool mechanic because Sean Devlin's a badass.
because yeah, in all the
I-
Metal Gears, you're always able to smoke, and smoking does different things for you in those games.
Dude, see, like, all right, real quick. Like, when we were talking last week about originality and, like, there's no original IPs. Like, I remember being a kid and they're like, you're an Irish race car driver in Nazi-occupied Paris kicking ass. And I'm like, you have my
Is this
attention.
a Guy Ritchie movie?
Dude, this is just an action-packed joyride. It's got the comedy. It's got just it's like, and like every time I'm watching Glorious Bastards, I'm like, I want to go back and play the Saboteur, scratch my itch. So yeah, good one.
My number two is a small indie game. It was on the PS3. It's called Journey. If you looked up images of it, you'd recognize it. I don't know if you ever played it, but you would definitely recognize it just because of how iconic the game's graphic style and gameplay is. And this game, honestly, it was really my top two honorable mention games. It was really, really hard for me to not put them in my top games of all time. Journey is such an important game to me. I've only played it once, and that's I think that's how it's meant to be played. It's only like 3 hours long. You could play it in one sitting. But I don't know what message you'll get from it at the end. I don't even know what I got from it. But all I know, I was fucking bawling my eyes out at the end of this game. Um, it was just so serene and fucking beautiful and clean is how I would describe it. It was a very clean game, in the sense of there was no screen tearing, there was no hiccups. The frame rate was just completely steady. The gameplay was so smooth, and it's very much what it is. There is no mechanics at all. You just go from point A to point B and you collect ribbons that make you be able to float faster and higher, and longer. So honestly, if you got a PlayStation, go and check that game out.
I just saw it's on Steam.
Oh yeah, go and check it out. I can't imagine how much is it on Steam.
I don't know.
I'd pay
I just
$50.
know it has a 9 out of 10.
I'd pay $50 for that game. Because yeah, that game is just, it is unfucking believable, and like the reveal at the end, it's such a small, subtle reveal, but it left me fucking jaw dropped. And I would hope don't read any reviews because I fear that they might spoil the reveal, and the reveal's not what you think it is. So it's not like a narrative thing or anything like that, because there's not even really a narrative to the game. But what you find out at the end is just so fucking cool. And honestly, I think that's maybe what brought me to tears. But what's your number one honorable mention?
Red Dead Redemption. I'll just put the series as a whole, okay? Because Red Dead 2 is a prologue. So, like, it's a prequel, sorry. Like, I don't even know where to begin. I don't even know where to begin. I just remember, like, I give Grand Theft Auto credit, right? Grand Theft Auto is amazing in its own right, but I just remember being completely transported in to Red Dead's world. The characters and the story and just my favorite video game score of all time that just like intertwines with the gameplay on purpose, intentionally. I don't know if you know that, but everything you do is triggering music.
Yeah, like
Every
when you
time.
the what is it? The one notorious scene is when you ride into Mexico and uh Jose Alejandro, I think his name is. I can't remember. Yeah, his one song kicks in.
Yep.
And then they tried to mimic that in the sequel, and it did not do as well, in my opinion.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. It's
Yeah.
just like the characters and like I remember I'll never forget playing through the first game and being like so upset that it was over. And then Undead Nightmare came out.
Oh,
and
Undead
then
Nightmare was
John,
great.
Yeah, it was. And then John Marston was back. I'm like, all right, one more ride, baby. And then I remember it was over. And then they announced the second game. And I was like, dude, there's no way you're going to be able to replace John Marston for me. Well, God damn it. They did, because I bawled like a baby in my living room, like on the floor. When Arthur Morgan. Yeah.
Um,
I resonate with Arthur Morgan, especially if you do the right thing, and his
Yeah.
character arc is one of the greatest character arcs in video game history.
so the first Red Dead Redemption, I love as well, and I did have it in my honorable mentions, but I didn't want us to have too much crossover, so I swapped that out with The Witcher 3. But Red Dead Redemption, next to BioShock, I want to say it was probably the most adult game I played up until then. And when I say adult game, I mean like the themes that they were tackling were legitimately mature themes.
Yeah.
Um,
And it was right around the time when, because I don't know, we're like the same age audience out there. So, like, at that time, like, we were just like, I guess, finally comprehending all of that shit. If
we
that
were
makes
we were
sense.
in eighth grade.
Yeah. So
Because I remember that came out the same month that the Washington D.C. trip was happening, and I stayed home and I played that. And I honestly prefer my experience over everyone who went to DC. But yeah, no, it was like, yeah, like I said, it was like probably next to BioShock, like the first game that was tackling some pretty serious adult themes that I've played up until that point. And yeah, as you were saying, the immersion with the characters and the scenery, it was just really unique. Two, Red Dead Redemption 2, I personally don't like. It's hard for me to say, like, how I like, I don't want to get into spoilers on why I don't like it. Uh, one reason is because I feel like you were, you were, there are segments of the game where you're forced to be bad. Whereas in the first game, you already lived the bad life, so you could be bad or good, and your decisions made sense. Whereas as Arthur Morgan, there were plenty of situations where you had no choice. You had to be bad. You had to do this bad thing. That's just the story. Specifically extorting money from people. There's like a few segments of doing that. And I didn't want to do that. I wanted to play good Arthur Morgan. I wanted to be good Arthur Morgan. I didn't want to go and extorting money from people. But you had to do that. So that immediately took me out. And then also, I liked Dutch a lot more in the first game in the sense that
Yeah.
he was a lot more mysterious and a lot creepier in the first game. Whereas in the second game, I am not even exaggerating. I do not know why anyone would follow this guy. It literally, it reminded me of
You
like
want to know why?
it
You wanna know why?
reminded me like a Trailer Park Boys situation.
No, you want to know why? And here's a historical reason why. A lot of those people didn't know how to talk like him and read like him, and he taught them how to talk and read because he was a talker, right?
Oh,
And
that was another issue.
He reminds me of that dude. You've seen Tombstone, right?
Yeah.
The main antagonist in Tombstone. That's him. Curly mustache and
Yeah.
all.
Is I don't know. He was literally so fucking stupid. If these people are supposed to be dumber than him, then they needed to be like, duh. Because yeah, some of
That's why our main man's always one step ahead. But we'll leave that to someone that, for some reason, hasn't checked that game out in the past 3 years.
And then my number one, again, this is hard not to put in my top 5, is and honestly, it's hard not to just do this entire series as a whole. I'm doing Metal Gear Solid 4. I know that one might be a little controversial to do, but Metal Gear Solid 4 is essentially a direct sequel to Metal Gear Solid 2, while also summing up and tying off all of the other Metal Gear Solids in its game. That's why it's so fucking long and its cutscenes are so obnoxiously long. Literally, if you added up all the cutscenes in that game, no exaggeration, we're probably talking 15 hours more.
What?
No exaggeration, dude. Like, here, I'm actually just curious right now. Let's switch over to the news tab real quick. Where are we at? Go to Google. All of MGS4 cutscenes. 8 hours. 8.5 hours. Well, then this one here is 9 hours. This one here is 9.5 hours. So, let's call it about 10 hours.
That's whack.
Dude, it's fucking insane how much there is in this game. But it is so fucking beautifully done. It is so epic. It was the reason why I bought a PS3, and as we'll get into our top games, Metal Gear Solid is the reason why I got into PlayStation itself. So, you don't really have any history with Metal Gear Solid, right?
Nope.
Yeah. Shame. Damn shame. But hit me with now we're on to our official top 5 games of all time.
Of all time.
Of all time. These are our favorite games ever.
All right. Well, my number 5 top 5 games of all time. And these are games that I would go back to and play right now. Fallout New Vegas. Let me tell you, I loved Fallout 3 when it released, but then Obsidian was like, let me take our baby back and make it better. And then yeah, that's what happened. Dude, the story and like the DLCs, every quest, all my decisions felt like they mattered. Like Obsidian just knows how to make a damn good RPG game. And the whole like rundown Las Vegas, like with the Kings or whatever, all the Elvis dudes, all the Elvis impersonators.
Yeah.
Just like the game had character, man. And like, this is Mr. New Vegas signing off, you know, like, and like the old Sinatra songs and whatever, like Blue Moon and stuff. And it was just like, I don't know, I've played through the game like 10 times. And I'll mod the shit out of it a different way and go back through it and do it again. It's that's like a once every 2-year game for me.
Yeah. I played New Vegas. I played it once when it came out, and then I played it again. When did I play that again? I played it on I think I played it on my laptop at work. Around the time I played and did everything in Skyrim. New Vegas is about as good as I think the new Fallouts can be. I don't know. I mean, I don't know when they're going to do another Fallout, but I don't think it'll be anywhere as good as New Vegas unless they give it back to Obsidian.
That's the premier Fallout game. Like, if you want to play a first-person Fallout game that's not the first two or Wasteland or anything like that, New Vegas.
The game hasn't aged well, but it is accessible pretty much everywhere. I know it's on xCloud now, so you can even play it on your fucking phone if you got Xbox Game Pass. So,
but there's mods to make it better.
Well, yeah, so. There you go. I'm looking at my list right now, and I'm just gonna start swapping some around here. My number 5, we talked about it pretty heavily earlier in the story, so I probably won't dive too much deeper into it. It's BioShock. BioShock, the first one. Like I said, BioShock 2 wasn't a Ken Levine joint, so that one's kind of hard for me to even count, but I do. And BioShock 3, BioShock Infinite, it's a great game. I really do love it. But my issue with BioShock Infinite is which I have been meaning to do a replay of because I haven't played that game since it first came out. I've even played the first BioShock since that one came out. You kill more people in that opening segment than you do in all of the first BioShock. Like, I feels. It's like a total action shooter more than BioShock ever has been. BioShock was super atmospheric, and this one is too, or BioShock 3 is as well, but I felt like that initial drop into Rapture and finding all of the audio logs of Andrew Ryan was just really fucking horrifying and just very somber. And I remembered I probably watched my brothers each play that game 3 or 4 times before I actually sat down and played it myself.
It's usually how it goes.
Yeah, you played all the BioShocks, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just liked how the first one, it was like kind of more survival-y. Like the big daddies were like, "Oh shit,
for sure.
Like, do I have what I need to?"
It was a Metroidvania.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Oh yeah. Do you want to hit me with your number 4? Or you want to say anything more on BioShock?
Oh, I'll hit you with the number 4. The number 4 is this little game some people might have heard of called GoldenEye 007 on the N64. Yeah. So, the reason why this is on my top games ever is because it's literally like the first video game I've like ever played. like my dad had it, and there's pictures of me sitting there like I don't know what the fuck I was doing, but I was sitting there playing it, dude. And that was just the game that followed throughout childhood. Always played it with my buddies and my cousins, and then like, stepdad, step brother and sisters, they all played it, so like it never left. And then like to this day, my parents have the N64 set up on this little TV that's under their main TV, and you best believe I play through the train level every fucking holiday.
I feel like everyone played GoldenEye with their dad at some point in their life, because I'm thinking back to when I played GoldenEye with my dad.
There you go. There you go. Dude. Like that's why it's just like the game. It's my first.
Dads were
My
like, "Wait,
first
I
thing-
could be James Bond? What?"
Yeah. That was my, and like even just watching my dad and his buddies play, it's sitting around token doobers when I was a kid. Like, oh, daddy's hitting the glass cigarette, sweet. Like, but oh yeah, it's his birthday today. Happy birthday, Dad.
Keep going. Give me 2 seconds. I'm just gonna run and grab a beer. Keep going.
You're good. But yeah, no, 007 is just like, not even away from like my top games, it's just one of the most important video games ever made. The stealth in it, the AI, the levels, the open sandbox, the hidden like little objectives you can do, like it was ahead of its time.
Yeah, it was also a part of that weird time where they pasted real people's faces, like instead of
They were all developers.
yeah,
faces.
instead of like rendering the people themselves. Like I know Mortal Kombat did that. Like I know Ed Boon. I think Ed Boon was Johnny Cage.
Good times.
Fuck. Just
DK mode.
Oh yeah.
Head mode. Golden gun. Dude, fucking I'll get you in a 1v1 on facilities. Slappers only.
If you fucking choose Odd Job, we're fighting in real life.
No, Jaws all the way, baby.
Let's see, where are we at? So I'm on to my number 4, which is, oh, this is tough. This is tough.
Got this.
Number 4, we're gonna go The Last of Us parts 1 and 2, because they are a conjoined series. I honestly don't even know where to fucking start with this game. The Last of Us 2013 is a complete masterpiece through and through, with narrative, voice acting, gameplay design, structure, polish. It's got the classic Naughty Dog polish. They are perfect in everything that they do. That first game is, I mean, the intro alone, I have seen 50 fucking times, I swear. And if I was to pull it up right now, I would be in tears by the end of it. It fucking gets me that hard. And it's not even at this point the scenery, which, don't get me wrong, it's rough, but it's the acting. It's Troy behind Joel. It's Ashley behind Sarah that really, fucking tug at your heartstrings. And I mean, it's the connection between the two of them throughout the whole game, and just how Joel is such a bad guy, to be honest with you, that he will fucking do whatever the fuck he wants to secure this girl as his. That she's mine now because of what happened to his daughter. And that is such a fucking hard subject to tackle. And then 2, Jay, I know you haven't played 2, and I don't think you really have any intentions on playing 2, but what they do in 2 is so synonymous with what they did with my second favorite game of all time, top 5 games of all time. But they did it better. And I remember when that swap happened, I was just like, wait. I was just like, okay, this has got to be for, a chapter, for like, a small little section or something. And then like I pulled up the crafting and I was like, oh wait, no, this is this is timely, so I'm going to be here for a minute. And yeah, you're there for a minute. And so many people hated on 2, and it really pissed me off on why people hate on 2, because I've been wanting to go back and play it, but it is such an emotionally draining game that it's like it's something you got to commit to, because it's also double the length of the first game. The first game was probably about 12 to 15 hours. This one's probably close to 30. And being a linear game that is all narrative driven, that is just the saddest shit in the world. It's rough, but I mean, both those games, again, technical level, gameplay level, acting level, they are masterpieces, and there's, in my opinion, not really any arguing that. You could, like Jay, you could straight up be like, yeah, I didn't like the game. It was whatever. It was fine, but there's no denying that what Naughty Dog crafted there is a masterpiece.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to know what was gonna happen.
Oh yeah.
I genuinely wanted to know what the ending was gonna be like. But
well, that's what I thought was so funny was when you were texting me after you actually beat it, and you're like, dude, like Joel's a bad guy. Like, I don't really like this game. I was like, yeah, that's the point.
I will say that
I was like, Joel's the antagonist. Ellie's the protagonist.
Yeah, the segment with the
Winter.
The
Winter.
cannibals.
We'll just call it Winter.
Yeah, Winter. Winter had my heart racing.
Yeah, that entire sequence. And then once she's finally reconnected with Joel, it's like, fuck. Goddamn that fucking game. Don't remake it because I will buy it. Jay, what's your number 3?
Number 3 is the first SOCOM U.S. Navy SEALs. Okay, I'll never forget going to Walmart on my birthday with my dad, and I saw this biggest game on the shelf. Big old box. Not your standard PS2 thickness. In a cardboard box. Please tell me you have it.
Dropping everything, yeah.
Oh, I mean, but you remember the box it came in?
Yeah, no.
No. The thick, no. A cardboard box.
Oh yeah, I don't have that still. I still have the original guide though.
Yeah, my guide has coffee stains on it. But anyway, I remember going there and my dad's like, oh, we should get this for your birthday, because he fucking wanted it. but, dude, sitting there as a little kid and being able, talk about a game ahead of its time, because we didn't even play the multiplayer, just a single player with communicating with the
AI.
An AI squad.
Dude,
that well.
It was the most realistic game I'd ever seen at that. I remember seeing that and I was just like, this is the pinnacle of video games. Nothing will ever look as good as this.
I know. I remember I'm like, dude, this is the end all be all.
The opening mission when you're on the cargo ship and you're propelling through the water and you're climbing up the cargo ship and you're sneaking through that, the way the lighting was working, I was like, this is insane. And then he walked up behind the guy and then a tab pulled up and you could tell him to shut his mouth and get on the ground, or you could walk up and grab him straight up. Mechanics that didn't get introduced until Metal Gear Solid 5 in 2015.
Well, just the fact that you just think you're sitting there, plug that headset in for the first time, you put it on, you're playing, and the mission opens up, and then and that briefing starts in your ear, piercing in your ear, but you feel like a Navy SEAL. You're like, yeah, yeah. All right, let's do this. Bravo team, fire at will. Let's do this. Play Satchel here, and then you can individually speak to each team member, Boomer, left flank, Jester. Stick with me. Oh, roger that, Commander. I'm like, oh my god.
Bring it back.
Bring it back, dude.
Bring it back, Sony. Bring it back.
They've never made a game like that. An AI controlled with your voice.
To this
How do you
day,
do that? How do you do that in 2001 then never do it again? Because they phased it out, and so it kind of worked in SOCOM 3.
yeah.
I remember it worked in SOCOM 2, still kind of worked in 3, and then they just were like, they will forget about it. They'll forget about the selling point.
So
And then we'll
fucking
just turn it
annoying.
into an action game. All right.
Alright.
SOCOM U.S. Navy SEALs. Remake it. One of the greatest games ever.
So my number 3, what are we doing here? Fuck. It's a tie between these two.
Flip a coin.
Ah,
You know which
Oh.
one your number 1 is.
flip a bottle cap. Oh yeah, number 1 is set. It's between
Oh,
two
this
and
is-
I just flipped a bottle cap and it landed cap side up. So number 3 is Castlevania Symphony of the Night. This is Castlevania and Metroid combined are what inspired the Metroidvania genre that inspired pretty much every game on my list. BioShock, The Last of Us. Well, not The Last of Us. BioShock, not even a lot of games on my list, but a lot of my favorite games are Metroidvania games. 2 of the games on my list are Metroidvanias. It's, in my opinion, a perfect game. It was my first it was my first PlayStation 1 game that I played. I remember, watching my brother play Metal Gear Solid, the original, but Castlevania Symphony of the Night was the first time I played a PlayStation, and it's some of the most beautiful pixel art you will ever see. The whole opening of the game completely catches you out. You fucking fight Dracula at the beginning of the game, and then you play as Alucard. It is the halfway through the game when the castle flips upside down and everything is reversed. It's one of the most insane game mechanics in history. Like, to this day, nothing has been like that. Um, do you have any history with old school Castlevanias? I know they're older games at 2D
No,
16-bit.
no, I just know my stepdad's a beast at Symphony of the Night. That's all. Like the two, like he's all right in games, but he'll just be like, I could beat the first Zelda game with my eyes closed in Castlevania. Like, all right, dude.
Castlevanias are fucking hard. Well,
Yeah, they are.
Symphony of the Night's not that bad. Like 1 through 3 are
Which one's the one where like you literally like grab your armor and you die and you go right, and if like you lose your armor, you die, you go right back to the beginning every time.
that's
Is that all of them?
No, that's either Rondo of Blood or that's 3. I can't remember. But no, Symphony of the Night, it basically set in stone what the Metroidvania genre is, just that idea of, oh, here's this opening area, and what is it? The Star Wars Jedi game that
Fallen
came
Order?
out. Yeah, Fallen Order. That's a Metroidvania. I would say that's more of a Metroidvania than a Souls game. In the sense of, like, in that opening area, you'd look across and you'd be like, oh, there's, a chest over there, but you can't jump across. And then the next planet you go to, you unlock wall running. And then an hour later, when you're back on that first planet and you come across that first area, you're like, oh, now I could just wall run over there and grab it. That's the idea of what a Metroidvania is. And this game defined that genre, and it is easily one of my favorite games of all time. Jay, what is your number 2?
Y'all may have heard of this game called Tony Hawk's Pro Skater.
1, 2, 3, 4?
One. All right, 1 through 4.
1 through
But
4?
one to be specific. If we're talking about a game that single-handedly changed my life forever, like my mom's roommate, I'll never forget. Like, my mom worked at video store, and she would rent that game once a week, so no one else could take it, so I could play it on my PS1.
Dedication.
Dedication, and like, and it wasn't just like that's the game that like got me into like wanting to just play video games, but then it also like introduced me to skateboarding and punk music, and I remember I played that game for a month, and I just found this before this podcast. Um, my mom went and got me this on my birthday. As you can see, it says March, April, 1999.
Oh shit.
Um, yeah, and it still plays. Like I know this front and back. I know this
Nice.
dude. This is the first time I heard a Tribe Called Quest. Can I kick it?
Oh
Oh
fuck
my
yeah.
god, dude. Like memories here, but yeah, it just like skateboards, dude. Like it changed my life. Like I wouldn't be this alternative punk rock like just I wouldn't be me if it wasn't for Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. And I don't think and I could say that for a lot of people. And I know a lot of pro skaters even wouldn't have even started skateboarding if it wasn't for that game. And just like tell me, before that game came out, no one would have heard of Goldfinger,
Yeah, I mean,
Dead Kennedys
well,
in a video game.
I mean,
I know, I
I've known
know,
it,
I
yeah.
know. The opening, I'll never forget being a kid and police track.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I had my older brothers to thank for a lot of the music I got into at my younger age, but there was the stuff that they weren't into, so they weren't going to show me. That's where I got from Tony Hawk. Like I got my Nas, I got my Busta Rhymes, I got my Bus Driver, I got my Tribe Called Quest, I got my fucking Dead Kennedys, I got just all of the weird punk and fucking gritty ass hip hop from the fucking 90s that my brothers weren't really
Pin the
listening
tail on
to.
the donkey.
So honestly, yeah, no, I honestly have a lot to owe Tony Hawk just for the soundtrack alone.
And the fact that Tony Hawk himself was like they're like, what do you what? He's like, put music in, but put these bands in.
Yeah.
Like he just blew the door. And there's bands out there. There are like musicians out there that were like, I wasn't even into this music, and if it wasn't for Tony Hawk,
Yeah.
pro skater.
Oh, the Distillers. No one would know who the Distillers was.
Oh my god, dude!
Um,
Seneca Falls.
Let's see here. My number two, similar to you with, what got you into gaming, is for me Metal Gear Solid 2. Specifically Metal Gear Solid 2. I don't even know where to start with this game. I have it sitting on actually, I am going to grab it real quick off my shelf just because it is, to this day, my favorite, cover art for a video game of all time. Ugh. The Japanese version specifically, the red and white and the chrome snake, it's iconic at this point in time. And like I said, this game, I mean, the game came out in fucking 2001, so I feel like it's okay to spoil it at this point. The idea that you went into the sequel of Metal Gear Solid, and not even halfway through the game, they switch you over to this dude named Raiden, and you play as Raiden for the rest of the game, was so fucking I just used it. God, was so poorly received. Like, really, people did not like that at the time. But the thing with Metal Gear Solid games is the way, God, like I said, I don't even know where to get into this game. The bosses are so iconic. The level design is perfection. The voice acting is amazing. It's Metal Gear. It is what defined stealth genre. Hideo Kojima literally created the stealth genre of video game. And God, just looking at it right now, I got my
Time to get an emulator.
I got one, but it sucks. I got my fucking Gray Fox poster sitting right here staring at me. It's perfect. It is a perfect video game. It's my introduction to it is so weird because me and my brothers and my babysitter, when we were kids, we used to role play it. Like John would be Snake, I was Raiden, Luke was Gray Fox, Matt Dietz was fucking Otacon or whatever, or Liquid Snake, and we were fighting him. And it was like I was just like, what are we even playing? You guys are geniuses. This is the greatest, role playing game I've ever heard of. And then no, I walked in and John was playing Metal Gear Solid. I was like, whoa, what's this? And they're like, it's Metal Gear Solid 2. I was like, there's a 2? And yeah, and then there was Metal Gear Solid 3, and I got to finally play all of them myself once I got a PS3, and you were able to re-download PS2 titles, and then they did the HD collection that had Metal Gear Solid 2 and Metal Gear Solid 3 on it, and it's just their perfection in game design. The bosses are honestly the standout of Metal Gear games. The way Look up Psycho Mantis. If you're not familiar with Metal Gear Solid, look up the Psycho Mantis boss fight and the mechanics behind that. There is nothing like that will ever exist or happen again in video games. Plain and simple. Hideo tried to do it with Silent Hills. Okay, so summary. Psycho Mantis, when you're fighting him in the first Metal Gear Solid game, he's a telepath, so he can read your mind. And every move you make, he knows it ahead before you make it, so there's nothing you can do. As soon as you attack, he avoids it and dodges it, and you can't do anything about it. And you cannot do anything about it until you unplug your controller and you plug it into second player. And a message pops up saying, what's it called? You've plugged it into the wrong port, you got to plug it back into one. And normally when that happens, it's, blank until you plug it back in. This time there was an option to press X and hit OK. And when you would do that, your screen would fizzle out. And how all old CRTV TVs had the aux up in the corner? The screen was pitch black, it would be like a blue aux, like AUX up in the upper right-hand corner.
Yeah.
He did that, except instead of it saying aux, it said Hideo. And it sat like that for a couple of minutes, and then it came back online, and he was no longer able to read your moves because you weren't plugged into the same slot anymore, and you were able to defeat him right then and there. And that is one of the most genius mechanics to ever happen in video games ever. He tried to do it with Silent Hills, where you know how a lot of video games have you sign a user agreement? You got to sign, this, and that, just hit agree and enter. He was going to have you do that, and it was going to be optional for you to put in your phone number. And if you did put in your phone number, at random points in the game would call you or send you a text or something. And when you would answer the phone, it would be a dude breathing or a woman crying or some shit. And dude, that is the most creative, horrifying thing I could even think of. And that is just the mind of Hideo Kojima. And I can't even put my love for his games and his work into words. I have a shrine for Death Stranding right there. I can't put it into words. I don't even know why I put his games in here. They shouldn't even count because they take the cake. They're the best games of all time. Jay, I just rent on a pretty long and not really coherent Metal Gear rant. What's your number one?
Okay. Story first.
Hit me with it.
Came home one day and had this. My dad was like, "Oh yeah, your mom found this dude at Record Exchange, and we got you this PlayStation 1." And I was like cool. At the time I was like, cool. I wasn't really into games. I had Vigilante 8, WCW, Nitro,
Fuck yeah.
shit like that. And I was playing stuff like that. And then I remember soon after that, somehow we got a PS2 when it first came out. And DVDs and shit, whoa, And we ended up getting a PS2 and a bunch of PS1 games. And the one game that stuck out to me was Spider-Man on the PS1. Now, listen, prior to this,
Nerfsoft?
yes, prior to this, I didn't know who Spider-Man was. Holy fuck. Did that in the second game. Oh my god, dude. I played through those games like so many times, and then I remember I just watched my stepbrother play through them so many times. And I remember when like the Tobey Maguire movie, the first one came out, they had like Spider-Man cereal, and if you like got some of them came with like a computer disc in it. And they
Yeah.
totally reskinned like the first half of that game with Tobey Maguire's suit. And like I don't know, man. There's just something about that. I think like it's just like that was like the game that got me into video games. Like that was the first game where it was like, all right, you need to stop playing. No, I'm not gonna stop playing. I want to keep playing this game. Like that's all I want to do is play this game. And then like that's what got me into Spider-Man. Like, and that was my introduction into Marvel, superheroes, everything. I'll never forget playing that game for the first time, trying to do the training segments. Like,
Locking all
so
the comic
good.
books. Stan Lee is the narrator.
Oh my god. Hello, true believers.
Yeah, for
Like,
sure.
and then Black Cat right in the opening. And just like the whole like intertwining with like Daredevil and the Punisher.
Yeah.
And like even like the second game, you like fought the Sandman, fucking Electro,
Airsoft had some
Hammerhead.
magic.
Yeah, they do. Where'd they go? Who knows?
I got shut down. um, let's see.
But yeah, that would be my favorite game of all time. If no one here's played those games, get an emulator.
I was about to say, yeah, those were never put anywhere, were they? Kind of locked.
PS1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Nintendo 64 as well. Or the first one, not the second one. Actually,
the second one came out like in limbo. It was like a PS1 launch when the PS2 came out. Like PS2 launched and then the second game came out. And I remember I bought it and played it on my PS2. But yeah, it's just that whole realm of like that game and that being like getting the PS2 when no one else had one, you know.
Yeah, they were there.
And-
Yeah.
And everyone being like, what the fuck is a DVD? You're like, well, this thing does it. And it plays old games. And it plays CDs. Can you believe that? You know, like, crazy. I don't know. It's just like a time capsule of memories with that game.
Nostalgia. Yeah, very
And
nostalgic.
like the cheesy one-liners.
Yeah.
Like fucking Venom. Like, they're like in the library searching symbiotes. And Venom's like, are we going to be surfing the web?
Oh my god.
And Memory's like, look at me, surfing
I was
the
actually
web.
able to fucking picture that as you said it.
And that's the first time I saw a monster ock.
Yeah.
That was cool too. It gave me nightmares, nightmare fuel. Like coming down that fucking thing, and you're like, it's all weird direction. Like you're swinging this way, and you gotta swing, and you're like the camera's like coming at you. Then it's side scroller, then it's third person, then it's up, and as he's like the most sadistic, like over distorted behind you, like, yeah, good shit. Anyway. What's your number one game of all time?
You ever play God of War 2018?
Not yet, but now you're gonna be like, you like Viking shit, and you haven't played that. Like, I'll get to it.
I would say next to Valheim, it is the most Norse mythological game. And I would, even though it is probably 60 hours shorter than Assassin's Creed Valhalla, I would feel confident saying it's more Norse than that, and just coherent in its explanation of Norse mythology. It's and it's some so no game is perfect. I don't think there's such thing as a perfect video game. But I think that this is as close as you can get to. There is not a single wasted moment in this game. Every single moment has meaning. It has some of the greatest third person combat I have ever felt in a video game. It might have the best third person combat I have ever felt in a video game. Um, the way it's shot in the sense of there are no cuts from
Yeah,
this
it's
from the
fluent.
second you start the game to the second you end the game. There is no cuts in cameras. It bleeds all in. It's one of those things where you have to see, watch a scene from
I've seen it. I've seen it.
yeah, watch a scene from like Children of Men, or like watch a scene from what was that guy's Netflix movie? I can't remember. But like watch like a famous one shot scene, like one shot from Old Boy, like the Old Boy hallway scene. Like that's what this is like, and the entire game is like that. So when you're fucking fighting a dragon and it is one shot, it is like the most epic thing ever. The music, they went up to Iceland and they found the only Norse singing choir that was able to speak this specific language. And they hired them to sing the entire catalog of music. And fun fact, that's my D&D soundtrack. So whenever we're playing D&D, I have the God of War soundtrack playing in the background because it's just so fucking epic. And possibly, in my opinion, the most important thing is, I don't know what your affiliation is with the original God of War games, but I hate them. The original God of
No,
War,
I want to know. I've never really
they're
played
like
them.
Devil May Cry. They're combo based action beat 'em ups, but
Right. But like,
Kratos is the most unappealing, like uncharacteristic character you will ever experience in a video game in those first three games. He literally just screams all of his lines of dialogue, and he has no development at all. And somehow in this game, they make all of that relevant. Like in this game, he is this silent, stubborn, angry dad because of him being this angry, pissed off, only shouting, uncharacteristic guy his entire life. And them taking it's like it reminded me of Rogue One fixing A New Hope with like hey, one of the biggest Easter, or like one of the biggest plot holes in movie history is like, how is this one hole in the Death Star, if you shot a blaster in there, how is that going to destroy the entire fucking ship? That's completely absurd. And then the entire plot of Rogue One is how that is not absurd at all, and how it is completely logical, and how it was put there. That's what this game feels like. It feels like, the first three trilogy of games is completely illogical and just kind of a dumb action Fast and Furious movie, whereas this one sets all of that in stone and gives it all meaning. And
so
dude,
is it all one? Is God of War 2018 like a reboot? God of War 4?
it's a sequel.
What? It's a sequel.
It's
So,
a,
because like I know God of War 1 through 3, he's killing the Greek
it's
gods.
a soft reboot. So
But so it's not Greek anymore. They flip it
no,
on its
it's
head and go
Norse.
Norse.
Yes. And
Sick.
this isn't a spoiler, but they imply in the game that the world you're in exists in all of mythologies. So there's a point where Mimir is talking about Egyptian mythology and Scottish mythology and just all of these different mythologies throughout the whole world and how they all exist. So like that leads me to believe that like maybe the third game in this trilogy isn't even going to be Norse, which I think would be fucking awesome. But
Egyptian would be sick as fuck.
yeah,
That would be sick as fuck.
This game has a lot. I mean, the sequel to this game has so much writing on it because this game is, by definition, critically acclaimed. For perspective, in 2018, Game of the Year, this game beat Spider-Man and Red Dead Redemption for Game of the Year. So you got to understand that if you haven't played this game, please, for the love of God, go and check it out. It is, again, my favorite game of all time. And that wraps up our favorite games of all time. Jay, that was fun.
That was fun. I
Yeah,
had a lot of fun.
we'll try and have to get another one of these set up soon, maybe for the next episode. But we have been going for just under 2.5 hours now.
Woo.
So I think it's time to call it a night. What do you think?
I agree.
All right. Despite the rough start, that was a good episode, I think. I think that was our best episode.
It was meaty.
Yeah,
Had some-
no, for
had
sure.
some- had some juice.
Yeah, that topic at the end definitely added a bit to it, but that's okay because that's just more content for you. Just a reminder, this is Punk with the Controller. You could catch us live Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I'm your host, Paul Sabo. This is my co-host, Jay Hamilton, aka twitch.tv/LordXHam. Go over to his channel, like him, follow him, subscribe to him, and we go live together on Fridays and cover the news, topics that we want to go through during the week, go over our week in general, what we've been playing, what we've been watching. And on Mondays and Wednesdays, I'm going solo, and I'm playing whatever's appealing to me. This last week, we played Oddworld and Days Gone. Now, for these Friday segments, if you miss any of them, don't worry about it. The first 3 episodes are live on youtube.com/punkwithacontroller. So please go and like and subscribe to that channel and leave any comments on those videos on what you want to see us cover, what you want to see us change with the episodes itself. This episode will go live hopefully Sunday. The last episode got uploaded a little bit later because I don't know why. It took like 10.5 hours to upload. It was fucking stupid. So I'm going to try and get a bit of a head start on this one, and hopefully it won't take so long. Jay, this has been fun. Looking forward to next week.
Oh, yes.
All right. We'll talk to you guys soon. Have a nice night. Enjoy your weekend.
420.
Oh, yeah, shit. That's going to happen too. We got to get fucking baked.
Yeah.
Peace.